speakers. I want to really appreciate them. Some of them are not in our time zone. They are, I mean, in different time zones, and they are here. In short, they joined earlier. And so thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. Thank you, Madam Joan. Thank you, Mr. Helbens. Thank you so much. We appreciate, and we are not taking your availability. We are not taking it for granted. Everyone, I want to assure us that what we're about to do, right? To people pay for it. I have some people in my corner. I know how much they charge for this. So when we share this with ourselves, it is to help us. So I really just want to plead that we'll take this opportunity, we'll take it like our life depends on it. And you're free to ask them any questions they would be asking. I already have some questions on the side in case some of us will not ask those questions. I have some questions that I'll be asking them. We'll share, so they would, this session is not theory. This session is practical, where they're going to expose us to a lot of things, right? How we can be better with our money, let's say it that way. So let me, since you can see my entire screen, this is my entire screen, so I will come back to the slide and I will just put this on projection mode. If my internet is bad, you can tell me. If you can't hear me, you can tell me, because I'm sharing my entire screen now and this is on projection mode. So I'll be asking, can we see my screen? Can you hear me? Can I proceed? I won't see thumbs up. I just need someone to say yes, then I'll move.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. All right, so I will go straight to it. I would introduce them and then I will then call them one at a time. They will have like 15 to 20 minutes to share some practical things with us. I mean, you get the point, so that we can learn. And then we'll call the next person afterward. I mean, there will be rooms for questions. You can drop your questions in the chat so that when they are done with that, say 15 minutes, they have 5 minutes for questions. You get the point. But just know that maximum we plan 2 hours for this session, because this session is about making money. So we want to ensure that we can tap their knowledge and all of that, at least for that duration of time. All right. So the first person that I'll be introducing, she's a family member. So when I say she's a family member, she's our own, right? She's one of the community leads. So she's in the community, right? So Joan is a multidisciplinary business analyst and, of course, product manager with over 10 years experience across banking, fintech, insurance, and digital products. So she was a former wealth and relationship manager that advised high-value clients on financial growth strategies and, of course, portfolio performance. She holds an MBA in finance and investment, and she is a certified business analysis professional. She has expertise in business process optimization, system analysis, and product delivery. By leveraging on all of this, she's skilled in data analysis and visualizations with a focus on Power BI to drive informed and strategic decisions. Currently advancing in automation, testing, and robotic process automation, building intelligent systems for scalable growth. She's recognized for strategic thinking, communication skills, and of course, mentoring emerging professionals at the intersection of finance, business, and technology. Please, you can always help me celebrate them. So please, you can, of course, you can use the average, you can clap and celebrate them. So I would also be introducing the next, I mean, this is the profile, right? Don't worry. So we'll call them when I'm done with the introduction. So that this will buy some people time to join, so that I don't want anyone to miss any session. That's the point. All right. So this person right here, she's a family member to me. Don't worry, just say it that way. So his name is Kaude, and I've known Kaude for more than 25 years or so. I'm sure it's more. So he's a financial professional with over 15 years experience in financial reporting, budgeting, treasury management, tax compliance, and process reengineering. Proven expertise in financial analysis, forecasting, and reconciliation of cash flow management, delivering actionable insight for executive decision making. Is skilled in optimizing financial system and internal control to enhance accuracy, transparency, and accountability. He has cross-industry experience spanning manufacturing, telecoms, aviation, oil and gas, leasing, and confectionery. His notable achievements are he's part of the people that, or part of that team that conducted the process audit of Univen in that year. Currently, is a regional finance manager for West Africa. West Africa at AutoCheck Africa, a leading automotive technology company with operations across multiple Africa regions. He also a BSc in accounting, MSc in accounting, Zaria, Lagos, and of course MBA also in Zaria. He is a fellow of ICANN and associate of CIT and people in charge of tax. His core competence, right, is in the area of financial accounting, corporate accounting, auditing, and so on. So please help me celebrate Coyote. You're welcome. Let's confirm we can hear me that my internet is fine. Can we confirm that?
Internet's fine.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so
Internet's fine.
thank you. So I have with us also in the person of Mr. Evans. So Mr. Evans is the head of product management and innovation at Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. So he leads the vision, strategy, and execution of PAPS, right? Products enabling instant, secure, and cost-effective cross-border transaction. Of course, I know about them. I know about this organization. Extensive expertise in digital payment, fintech, and product innovation, building customer-centric platform for banks, SMEs, merchants, and consumers. It's focused on inclusive payment ecosystem, which leverages the emerging technology to drive trade and financial integration across Africa. It's passionate about transforming African financial landscape, reducing transaction friction, and unlocking opportunities for economic growth through modern payment infrastructure. So please let us celebrate Elvin's. We're going to learn from these people, and we are not taking this opportunity for granted. So in case you want to know the person that is speaking, and you've not seen my face, but this is me here, and I'll move away from the slide. So, but before I move away, right, this is very important. In case you join this session, maybe some people have told you that, there is this session that I want to happen today. It's about making massive money. You're right, in the right place. But look at this disclaimer. What we want to show today is not about double. Don't worry, you know what I mean. It's not about what do they call it? MMM. No, you would understand, in case you're very new, don't worry, you would understand what we want to do is a legit one that can rescue you and your future generation. And don't worry, I have people around me that I know that is what um they've been leveraging to keep a lot of people alive. Let's say it that way. So, but I'm going to read this because I put it there just to ensure that it is some people understand why we are here. This training is designed to help you understand how to grow your money steadily and sustainably. It is not I put it in bold, like again. It is not a double or quick money scheme. So returns are based on sound investment principles, market realities, and disciplined financial planning. So while growth is achievable, I'm a product of whatever that you see that we are doing today. So while growth is achievable, it requires patience, consistency, and realistic expectations. So on this note, I welcome everyone once again. Thank you for being here, and I'll come back to Teams. All right, so we will be starting right about now. But before I call Joan, Joan would be the first speaker. And the reason is, even one of the speakers said that in the week of International Women Celebration, we are celebrating them. So women would go first. So, all right. So if you have questions, remember you can drop it in the chat, right? I'm sharing my entire screen, so you're free. Remember, I would always say in our sessions that there are no stupid questions. Please be free. And I can assure you that whatever questions you ask, right, don't worry, they are not stupid questions. So you need clarification. If you understand it, you wouldn't ask. So please be free to ask any question and we're able to demystify or answer you correctly to the best of our knowledge, our ability. So again, thank you all. And if you really would want to, while they're talking, right, we don't want you to cut him, but in case of anything, you can still show with the razor band. You just note your hand, right? That or maybe you don't want to type your question. For instance, when Joan is done after 15 minutes, maybe you don't want to type. You can show with the razor band. Yes, we'll call you when you raise your hand, and then we'll take it that you want to be heard. So again, thank you. So, Madam Joan, are you ready for us? So that
Yes, I
once you
am.
said yes, I'll stop sharing my screen. You can then take it away. So I'll stop sharing my screen right now. So please, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on where you're joining this call from. Like Mr. Jide said, this morning conversation is one thing that I hold so dear to my heart because I know one thing is a lot of persons are actually not actively afraid of the topic, but it's something that we cannot run away from. It's something that is a part of our everyday lifestyle. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it and I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you very much. So, and people tend to run away from the topic of money. We have seen it cause frictions in homes, in relationships, not just in homes, in businesses. The reason being that we were not taught. I wouldn't say we're not taught, but we're not actively taught. Of course, with the assumption that everyone here is a Nigerian, and even though I know some of us are not in Nigeria, I restricted this to us in Nigeria. My apologies. So, because a lot of us are not taught about the topic of money, when we hear people do big things, we ask ourselves, where did they see this money? What did they do? How did they come about all of these things? But I promise you that it is not far-fetched. Like they say, information is key. Information is what makes you different from every other person that I've had to do something exceptional that you haven't. So today we'll be looking at the topic, make your money work for you. And underneath, we'll be looking at budgeting, saving, investing, and growing wealth. I know majority of us will say, is it not somebody that has money that will budget? Is it not somebody that has money that will save? Is it not somebody that has money that will invest, let alone talk of growing wealth? Let us just first eat. Yes, eating is good. We agree. But whether we like it or not, we still have a conversation with money one way or the other, either actively or passively. We buy food, we buy things. But one thing I will tell you for free is this: what you don't plan for, right? You cannot even think of or imagine achieving. And like I said, because of the in access to financial education in our schools growing up, it becomes difficult for most of us rather to adapt to it. So it's even in the present day Nigeria or present day like economy that a lot of us are trying to become active. Even though we've had people that have been burnt firsthand in the past when it comes to investments, quick, what's it called? Quick scheme or quick money schemes, right? But because of knowledge, a lot of us fell into that trap. And looking at our screen, we'll see something. 76% of Nigerians feel anxious about money. It is very true. I'm very certain this statistic is even less compared to what the reality says. But it's okay. It's okay to be anxious about money. But what do you do with that anxiety that happens? Because whether I like it or not, you must have the conversation. If you're not talking about it to your spouse, you're talking about it with the people you interact with, your children's school, you have to pay bills. Landlord is not even waiting to hear whether you're anxious about money before he comes to ask you for rent. And then less than 3% of adults own any form of investments. Well, this is still very true because many would say, the one I invested before, something happened to it. I cannot find it. I cannot track it. Then they told me to invest in shares. I bought shares. I cannot find it. All right. And 67% of us, of adults rather, live paycheck to paycheck. Would say cost of living is even killing the living. So because of that, we'll just eat first. But everything is about planning. Everything is about planning because if emergency comes now, money will come out. And if you tend to ask yourself, how does this money come? It will always come. There's always money for emergency, whether we like it or not. We don't always pray for emergency, but it does happen. And the money will come out. All right. And like I said, a lot of us have this, let us first spend, later we'll save what is remaining. That's a very, very bad and terrible way of dealing with your money. Because if money was a human and it's talking to you and looking at you like, so you don't even take me serious, you don't hold me close to heart, I think I should just leave and go to the next person. But we don't want that to be our case. And then also another reason that we have money problems is irregular income and inflation, right? Inflation pressure. Of course, we all know what is happening in Nigeria. But even within the same economy, people are still making it, and you're asking yourself, please, what are they doing exceptionally? They just have access to information that you don't have. And then we have fear of investing or wrong investment, like I explained, those that have been burnt before. They don't want to be burnt again. So one of the things we'll be looking at today is how or the information that we need to know as regards our funds. Okay. Now, first thing we need to do is what? Budgeting. How do we budget? You'll say, okay, let us budget based on what we want to achieve. Let us use our country, Nigeria, as an example. Do you think all those money that they allocate for 2020, okay, we're in 2026, Abby, if they start 2027 budgets now, do you think the money that they allocate to spending is available? I need a response, please, so that I know that I'm not here alone. Do you think the money is available sitting somewhere?
No, it's not available actually.
It's not. It's not. But they can run that budget based on past experience. And the only reason why they can have past experience is because they have documented what has been spent. Budgeting is not restricted to the high value or high level. I know for most of us that work in organizations will have heard, okay, we are doing budgeting for the next year. And in most organizations, it starts between October to December. And you are wondering, these things that they are doing, I don't think it's for me. It's actually for you. It's actually for everybody. All right. So if you don't tell your money where it's to go before it disappears, you can never track it. You will not be able to even tell. And then you'll be asking yourself, I collected salary today. The money went. I don't even know how it happened. But I know that I'm here halfway through the month and I feel like I'm struggling. All right. But in order for us to achieve a well-detailed like plan for our money, we have to budget it. We have to make a plan for it, whether I would like it or not. Right? You would say, okay, I was budgeting before, halfway through something that happened, and I'll touch it, and I'll touch the money that I was keeping aside and all of that. But you have to make allocations in your funds for all of these things, right? So going by the 50, 30, and 20 rule, it is advised that you do 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% save. All right. So what are your needs? You have to identify them. The things that you have to do every day. For those of us that are living in rented apartments, whether I like it or not, you must pay rent. Even though you're going to pay the rent at the end of the year, you still have to make allocation for it on a monthly. That's the only way when it comes to the end of the year, you will not be panicking. Then food, you must eat. All right. And we must also transport. We must pay bills. Bills don't wait for whether we have earned something or not. Bills will come. We have to pay them. So all of these things fall into our needs category. All right. And then there are several platforms you can use to track your expenses. All right. And if you're able to track every single naira that you have, you'll be able to tell what you spend on a monthly basis for needs. And if you're saying, okay, I tracked it the first month, I did not understand what I did, I tracked it the second month, you might think it's not making sense. But when you look at it in hindsight, like let me just go back to the last 6 months, you'll be like, wow, so I actually did this. Another activity I'll give to us, right, after today is go and pull your statement of accounts for the whole of last year. You would see how much came, like how much money you had access to and how much you spent. And then at the end of the day, then you just use that one and pat yourself and say you're doing well. All right. So don't think because you have not been seeing money, you've been seeing money because it's not being tracked. That's why you cannot tell. But your financial statements, your bank statement rather, will help you do that tracking, and you would beat you hit your chest and tell yourself, I did try. Do you understand? So you track every naira. How do you track that? You have to first know how to do that. All right. So you have to first create an awareness. There are several platforms that you can use for that. All right. And I think that'll be for later, but I'll drop it. I'll drop the link on the group. I created a platform that we can use to track. At least for us now, it's free. Yeah. And you don't need to download it. Or you need sorry, you don't even need data to be able to access it, right? I'll drop the link to that on the platform. So for those of us that might be saying, how can I track? What will I use to track? I'll drop the link on the group. All right. So like I say, awareness is very, very key. If you know, you'll be able to measure, you'll be able to know what is going to where and what is going to where. And then we have another means of budgeting, which is what? Envelope system, right? We have, like I said, we have several platforms. So Piggyvest is one of them. I know a lot of us are familiar with Piggyvest, but most people don't use it. All right. So this is just an example. It's not me saying use Piggyvest because I don't use Piggyvest. All right. So it's just what everybody's familiar with. That's why I had to use this here. Okay. So you use it to track your different expenses, and then you do a monthly review. Like I said, check on a month on month. Then you see how far you have come, and then you go and heal yourself. Okay, now that's for budgeting. So when you've been able to track, that way you can now allocate. Okay, so if I look at my books now, every I use this particular percentage for my transport. I use this particular percentage for food. I use this particular percentage for every other expenses. So that way you can tell and know that, okay, on the average, this is what I spend. Okay. Then another thing is savings, right? Like we always say, pay yourself first and pay yourself first. You're the one doing the job. All right. Don't wait until last minute before you start paying yourself. All right. But please don't say because you want to pay yourself, you now pay yourself 100%. And then other part of your income will now suffer. Or the other part of the expenses that your income has to carry will now suffer. All right. So when the income arrives, you do a savings transfer first, then you spend what is remaining. All right. So, but this you would have been able to do if you have determined or have been able to identify how much you spend on your expenses and on like your recurring expenses and the rest of them. Okay. So this is just an advice. You can decide to go higher than this, depends on how your income is. So you can start at 10% if it's tight. You can increase it by 2% every month, every 3 months, and then you progress. As you progress on, you tend to beat perfection. All right. But I would say one thing. If you think your income currently is not helping you achieve your goal, your financial goal, right? All you need to do is up your game. What do I mean by up your game? Learn skills, learn high in demand skills. You have to increase your ability to earn before you can even think of saving or budgeting. Because if there's no money coming in, all this budgeting and savings English you are speaking is just story. All right. So 10 to 20% target for your savings, then build an emergency fund, right? Emergency fund is those in case anything happens. You're not panicking. You're not calling for GoFundMe for it to be sorted out. Decide by yourself how much you're going to be allocating to your emergency fund. Like if in case anything happens, this is what you will live on, right? So you can do a 3 to 6 months of expenses because life happens, right? We don't pray for anyone to lose their job, but it happens, right? If you're doing business can go sour. On some month, nothing will come in. But because of this expense that you have budgeted or you've tracked for a period of time, you can tell that, okay, between 3 to 6 months, this money can carry me. Okay. And then there are several platforms you can use for this emergency fund savings, right? So we have high yield platforms. For those of us that would say, I've never seen where they used to earn 15 to 20% on investment, fixed deposit. My darling, my brethren, it does exist. Because we don't have access to information, it feels too good to be true. Yes, they are too good to be true. What's it called? Platforms, but there are also investments that can give you high income. All right. So some have pegged at 10% to 15%. So what do? They collect these funds in large quantity. Remember, PiggyVest, using PiggyVest as an example now, PiggyVest does not give loan, but they do investments. So what they do is they collect these monies and go and put it in an investment firm, a structured investment firm, and collect an interest. So when they've collected their interest, then they spread it. If they've given you a 10%, they've negotiated maybe a 20 or a 30, 20 or 25, depends on the volume that they had. All right. So you invest with them because you feel okay, 10% is fine for me, I'm okay. So if you decide to use in your bank that you're using, I think the bank rates, the maximum you should get is around 5% or thereabouts. But if you feel like, oh, I don't need much, I don't like my money to be growing very well, I just want to stay here, it's fine. You can do that of like your structured commercial bank. But then the commercial banks still have other platforms, like other investment, what's it called? High yield investments that you can also key into. But if you don't ask, you can't tell. All right. So, and also another way to also manage your savings is you have to automate it. What do I mean by automate it? If you are certain of your payday, right, just put a, like, as the money is coming in, just set an instruction, like an automation instruction that says, as the money is hitting my account on, let me say your payday is 25th, on the 25th, this amount is going to my investment account. All right. So, but if you're not certain, or if your payday is not like a specific date, you can do, if for instance your payday is ranging between 25th to 28th, put your investments standing instruction at 30th, because whether I like it or not, the money will still be there. I know a lot of us will say, we get tempted to want to spend this money because something can just happen right now. Close your eyes. All right. Close your eyes. If the automation is not working, send it by yourself. Do you understand? Send the money out by yourself if you feel like the money as you're seeing it in your account is already tempting you. Okay. And then another thing we have to look at is investing. Now we've talked about savings, right? We've talked about budgeting. Now investing. Investing is now we are going to make your money do the hard work, right? And there are several investment platforms that are available to us in Nigeria for investments. We have treasury bills and federal government bonds. Yes, these are low risk stats. Whether anything happens to what's it called? Whether anything happens to the bank or anywhere that you buy this treasury bill from, your money is still safe. You still get it. But T-bills are not always available, and the rates tend to fluctuate. Okay, so you have to always be monitoring the market on a daily to know what the current rate is, so you can easily key in. But if you cannot do, because we don't have a lot of funds, we can go through our banks or through other investments arms that sell these treasury bills, because we cannot buy directly from the stock market. Depends on the volume. You cannot be buying 50,000 and then you're going to stock market and you say you want to buy treasury bill of 50,000. Nobody will answer you. But you can go through your investment platforms, through your bank, and just working and tell them, I want to buy treasury bill. Depends on what is available. But first thing you need to do is ask, what is the current rate and what tenor is it available for? You might be lucky, you'll see a 97 days tenor. You might see a 124 days tenor. It depends on what the rate is. So if you're the type that is too scared, like your risk appetite, what do I mean by risk appetite? The amount that you can decide to trade with is something that will not shake you if you invest, or if at all anything happens to you. We don't pray for anything to happen. But if your appetite is so low that you cannot afford to lose 1 naira, well and good. You can just stick with your bank investment and do treasury bill or federal government bonds. All right. Also, you can do mutual funds, right? Mutual funds is also another arm of investment, in the sense that they collect these funds, right? The mutual fund account, mutual fund administrators collect these funds and then use it to trade. What do we mean by use it to trade? They can either give it out as loans, or they can also collect it and go and put it in another investment firm, right? And this investment firm they're putting it in is using it to trade. And what's this trade? Giving it out as loans. Do you understand? So another thing you have to look out for is, where I'm investing, what are they using my money for? If you cannot tell what exactly that funds are going into and they are giving you a higher rate, please run. Do you understand? Run. That is like the first. You don't need to understand finance. You don't need to understand anything. If you cannot tell what they're using this money for, just run. Don't even bother putting 1 naira there. Okay? Then a mutual funds, like the entry point is within 1,000 and above. We have Stanbic IBTC mutual funds. There are a lot of other platforms, right? just pardon the fact that these ones are coming to my head. I'm not saying they are the best. There are a lot of other platforms that you can use. So just do your research. And then they are best for what hand of investors, right? You just want to give them money and just rest and be collecting your interest on on a monthly or thereabouts. You don't want to even bother. You don't want to go through that stress of checking to see what the percentage has gotten to or not. So then we have the Nigerian stock market. So with the stock market, you can invest with as little as 5,000, all right? But it also varies. And stock market is not a quick win. It's not a quick win. What do I call it? Is it quick win fix for your finance? It's a long-term game, all right? If you're the type that is looking to grow your finance for the long term, or you're ready to go the long haul, you can invest in Nigerian stocks. But another thing you have to look out for when you're trying to invest in the Nigerian stocks is their financials. What do I mean by their financials? How have they been doing in the last 5 years? Always check for the companies. The people that trade on the stock market, their financial record is public. You can see it. You can go online and search it. You can go to their website and search it. You will see it. All right. So you must always check how have they been doing in the last 5 years, right? Have they been making profits? Have they been making loss? If they've been making loss, has the loss been increasing or reducing? So if, for instance, you want to invest in a company, and at first when they started they made a loss of 2 million, right? And then year 2 they made a loss of 1 million. What does that tell you? They are reducing, they are working. That's a good place to invest in. Okay. And then in year 3 they net off, they did not make profit, they did not make loss. That is a good place to invest. Year 4 they started making profits. That is a good place to invest. Okay. But if you now check year 1 loss, year 2 the loss, instead of it to reduce, is increasing, please don't even look at them a second time, just be going. Okay. And then another platform that we another investment firm that we can look at is investing in the US stock market. All right. And there are different platforms that you can use. An example is Bamboo, I think Trovest or so. I'm not sure right now. So, but you have to do your research. All right. Not just do your research, you have to understand the market, understand the company, understand what they do. That is the only way you would be able to make sense of that decision. All right. And then we have real estate, REIT. So with this real estate investment, right, what do they do here? Collect the funds in bits and invest it in one, maybe like an investment. So the company collects funds from everybody. So if they're trying to raise let me say 10 million, they collect 5,000 from everyone and it gets to 10 million. They use it to do the investment that they want to do. And maybe they use it in rental properties. So definitely rental properties will be bringing in income, right? So, and there'll always be income. So you can then you get your own share of the income that comes in. So that is real estate REITs. All right. So they tend to diversify. So you are not afraid that you are going to put all your money in one place and then you're going to lose everything. Okay. So another thing is time value. Why your time is very, very important when it comes to investments. Remember, like I was making I made an example using investing in the stock market. It's a long game. There's something that happens to your money when you leave it year 1, year 2, year 3. All right. Time value of money, it goes up. It depends. If inflation stays stable, what do you mean by inflation? The rise of price. Yeah. And if that happens, it means your purchasing power. What do you mean by your purchasing power? What you can buy with 1,000 today is not what you'll be able to buy when inflation rises. Okay. So these are some of the things that you have to look out for. Even though if you say, okay, I'm afraid of investing, I want my money to be the way it is, and I leave it in the bank. Say, for instance, I leave a 500 in the bank today, and I did not do anything with it. I did not put it in investments. It's just there sitting and looking at me. What the banks will do for you is, if you did not touch it, they will give you savings interest, Abby. And that savings interest would not be, it might not be really tangible. It might be seen around the 4% or a 3%, depends on what rates the banks are given. And then you now go and withdraw that 500,000 in year 2, and you want to buy some things, you realize that you'll not be able to buy the same things you were able to buy in year 1. An example is what is happening to us in Nigeria. Every day we go to the market to hear the price, you're shouting, wow, but you're still paying. You will shout, you will pay. You will see price of foodstuff, you will shout, you will pay. But what is happening to your finances is going down. What you can buy is is minimal with the amount that you have, but you can hedge against that. How do you do that? By investing. Okay, by investing
Just a
and
moment.
making.
So sorry. I'm also enjoying the session that I even forgot track of time.
Oh my God, I
But
apologize.
no, no, no. No, bro. So please, let's say you have 3 more minutes. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna rush. I'm gonna rush now. I apologize for running at the space. Okay, 1 minute.
Oh, can we confirm we can still hear? I hope my internet is fine.
We can hear her. We can hear her. Your internet is
Joe.
fine, but
Oh,
I need a. Okay,
Yes,
can
we can
you hear
hear.
me now?
We can
Please
hear.
confirm you can still hear
Yes.
me, please.
yes, you're back.
but we can't see your screen.
We can see our screen now. She has reshared.
I can see it.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. So, um, where did
Okay,
I
we
stop?
don't worry. You were.
Can you see my screen,
yes,
please?
you're fine. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, good. So the time.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
just a
sorry, I
moment.
can't see your
Someone
screen.
said they
see your
can't see
screen.
it. Okay, I can see it though.
End
Others,
value
let's
of money
confirm.
is something
John, just a moment, please. Some people said they can't see your screen. So you can stop sharing and reshare.
Yes, please.
But though I can see
you
your
see my
screen.
Do you need me to stop sharing and shaking? Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll do that now. I will do that. Where is my screen? Share. Full screen. We
So once she shares, others let us confirm. For me, I can see a screen coming up.
Okay. All right, fine.
Yes, it's coming up.
No, so John, just hold on. Others confirm that you can see our screen now. Please, can we get
Yes.
response to that?
Yes.
Okay. Others. Okay. So John, please. Let's say you have 3 more minutes. So please go ahead.
Okay, no problem. So like I said,
right.
ensure that your funds are working. Take into consideration the time value. All right. Don't just be the type that will say, I want to be looking at my money in my account. It's safe that way. Don't do that. All right. And if you reduce the stress on yourself, all you need to do is just be thinking of how to increase that income. Okay. So like they say, systems beats willpower. If you don't set a system in place, you will struggle. You will struggle. And how do you set the systems in place? First of all, you have to budget, know what you want to spend. And if someone bring clothes to you and tell you, this thing is very good, buy it. And then you just go and buy it because you feel like you have the money to buy it. No. If it's not your budget, I'm sorry, please take it out. All right. I know it's hard for those of us that are not used to this lifestyle, but please start practicing it. It's going to help us. And then how do you build your buffer? Increase the income so that savings can make sense. And then after you have increased the income to an extent, then you invest, put the money to work. All right. After you put the money to work, you don't just leave it at that. You have to always review. Okay. Review in the organization, they will say, well, performance review on your finances is very important. All right. Don't just do the work for an organization, do it for yourself, to do it for your finance. Always review.
Okay, others, can you confirm? Is it my internet or our internet?
Joanne
Sir,
is
internet, it's breaking.
Okay, so John, don't worry, your internet has been breaking consistently. So
What's going on?
So
we can hear you, but it's breaking.
Yes, we can hear you, but it's breaking. So John, don't worry, I need you to talk repeatedly. Forgive me, right? I do that. Just talk without without breaking first. Just know that we can see.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you now. Please go
Okay.
ahead. You have 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, just know that we can't hear you again.
Ouch. Oh my God. I wasn't speaking, but I'm speaking now. Can you hear me, please?
Yes. So go.
Okay, very, very good. Don't worry, I'm rounding up already. I'm rounding up. I'm rounding up. Okay, so always do a review of your finances. If there's anything that you're doing that is not adding to your income, reduce it. If your expenses is increasing, reduce it. Do you understand? But
Okay. All right. So what we'll do,
if
right?
you can increase your income, because the next thing will be cut off. You are being
We
prudent.
your words are breaking and it's obvious, but we know it's not your fault. So what we are gonna do, right? We'll come back. I'm sure there will be questions, right? So
Okay.
maybe if you rest, the internet people did not want us to take everything you are throwing at us, but we will ensure we get everything. So, but we'll come back to you. But please, can we celebrate her? Can we celebrate her, please? If you are not, because
I'm
this
going
thing
to,
there.
okay, don't worry. I would switch.
So can we please, you can use the emoji to celebrate her. Thank you so much. I'm giving you a heart, and of course, I am clapping for you right now. I see people. So thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. So I will call the next person in the person of Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans, please, you have the floor. Your mic is muted at this
Okay,
time.
good.
Okay, good.
Yes. Can you guys hear me? Good morning,
Yes,
good
yes, yes,
afternoon, good
yes,
evening from
yes.
everywhere in the world because I would not limit this to Nigeria. First, I want to thank the organizers. You did great work you're doing here. And I want to thank my fellow panelists for the job well done, particularly Joanne. I was super impressed first with your profile and now with your presentation. That was spot on. Thank you very much. You've also made two sections of my presentation very easy. I also want to thank the attendees. It's not an easy thing joining such meeting on a Saturday. In fact, but one of the ways to know people who would succeed in life is the way they manage their time and sacrifice just to get value in life. So permit me to share my screen
Please go
and
ahead. You have the floor.
slides, but I think if you see my screen, just let me know.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Can you
Good.
see my
I
screen?
can see it. Yes. Doing well through
Okay.
self-development. Yes.
Okay, so I'm on the first page, growing well through self-development. Is that where we are?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I can see
while
that.
while my first panelist had given good context to how to manage your finances, I'll be coming on a different note, and this is how I've been able to grow my finances and my journey to becoming a self-sufficient individual, knowing fully well that I factor a couple of things. And permit me, I always like to say I have the God factor involved. However, I'll tell you how I've been able to push myself through certain areas, mistakes I've also made, and have gotten to where I am through these things. Uh, um, like I said, when you want to grow your wealth through self development, the first thing you have to embrace and tell yourself is that I'm the most valuable asset in life. Until you get that to your skull or your brains or your mind and every well being of yourself, you will never improve or grow. So you have to tell yourself that if I'm the most valuable assets in life, I have to invest in my skills. I have to invest in my mindsets. I have to increase my earning potentials. I have to also improve on what I'm doing today to earn higher income, gain greater heights in whatever I'm doing, and being the best. Because the end game is to ensure that you have a long term sustainable wealth. And in my small journey in life. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. Like I was taking notes from what Joanne was doing. I've learned 5 ways and 5 steps to what I call the roadmap to building my wealth or to building my finances. I'm not yet wealthy, but I'm getting there. And the first thing I had to do was to cultivate my mindset. The other bit was to upgrade my earning power. I also had to learn how to master my finances. Because Joanne said something in the first presentation. She said, if your earning power is so low, forget the budgeting. And if you now start to earn higher and you don't know how to master your finances, then you will lose what you've earned. And after that, I started to create assets. And in all of this, you have to prioritize your well being. And I told myself, and just like I mentioned, a short note that when you focus on this area, you transform yourself from being a passive earner into a proactive creator of wealth. Um, I still don't call myself wealthy. I still don't call myself rich. I'm just okay, but I'm still getting there. And I this is what I've used over the years, and I'm still growing. Starting with the first section, cultivating a growth and wealth mindset. Um, Painfully, I in Nigeria we have different mindsets. The environment is also not helping us, but your ability to choose from a scarcity mindset. And don't think scarcity mindset means you're poor. No. I've seen rich people with a scarcity mindset. I've seen wealthy people with scarcity mindset. But you need to begin to tell yourself that I have to move and shift away from the scarcity mindset. What is the scarcity mindset? Where you think that there are no opportunities, people cannot make it in Nigeria, or you think people cannot make progress wherever they are, in your place of work, in your business, in your school, whatever it is you're doing, you tell yourself that things are too hard. The more you confess and you say these things, the more the universe turns back at you and hits you with it. But your ability to believe in yourself that you can make it in life, then you'll begin to see opportunities come your way. Second thing, you have to embrace a life of learning. And when I tell people this, they say, things are too expensive. Education is too expensive. Using a skill, obtaining a skill from Udemy or one place is too expensive. And I tell them something. I say, poverty is expensive than learning today because your investments in future based on your learning helps is far outweighs how much you spent on learning at that time. And look at it, 5 years ago, look at where you were. What were the things you learned? What were the new skills you developed that brought you this far? That's how you know that in 5 years, I have improved myself. Overcoming fear and taking risk. A lot of people are very comfortable where they are. I never settled for less. I always took risk. If any of you can ask people who have grown with me in my career, you will know I've taken certain risks that if I tell any of you to take, you would be asking yourself, "Hey, this guy wants to put us into trouble." But there are certain decisions that you have to take, particularly in your career, in investment, and you will fail. I would not lie to you. In fact, there are times where you would even, for those who are spiritual, would go to God and you would think you heard clearly. It's about how resilient you were, picking up yourself after you failed and pushing yourself to say, yes, I failed in this part. I will still continue. And you push yourself. And that mindset has helped me pass exams that I failed. I usually don't like to mention most of my courses or certifications I have because I know that is not the criteria to making wealth. You can have all the certifications, but if you have the wrong mindset, again, you will miss it. So you have to overcome that fear, take the risks, and you will see it playing out in every area. And of course, my fellow speaker has said it, set clear financial goals. If you don't set goals that will achieve, I see people daydreaming, telling me they want to make 20 million in 1 year. How do you want to do it? You're not even working, you're not doing this. You have to set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals. So if you're saying this year I want to make 500,000, then match your earnings, match your income, then set the targets and match and meet up with the target you've set. Set goals, write it down. Write it down. What you don't write, what you don't they say what you don't plan or something. I can't remember. What you don't budget, you don't manage or so. Permit me. But there's a slogan or mantra. What you don't measure, you don't manage. Or what you don't manage, you can't measure. Or what you don't measure, you always have to on a monthly basis. Am I meeting my targets? Am I up to skill with what I'm doing? In my learning, have I met my targets? In my budgeting, have I met my targets? One of the things I said is upgrading your earning powers, which is skills, realizing your talents. A lot of us don't know what we have. How do you develop your high income skills? Focus on areas that are in high demand. Yeah, I put all these bits, but there are so many. And one of the things I used to do back then in my early days in career was to check most relevant goals by the World Economic Forum. It's handled by World Bank. So you would check the lucrative jobs in the world. Just take the 10, start developing your skills. And that's how I developed my skills in product management. I was always looking for something that was relevant. Because if you don't develop your high income skills, forget it. You can't get new jobs. You can't get jobs that would be out there that need you. So you have to start to develop yourself in that area. I've talked about investing in education. It, see, it's not rocket science. Education mean going to the four walls of his university. No, go online, read books. My colleague Joanne was saying that you should learn, read financials. You don't invest in something you don't know. What you don't know, you can't give. So you have to learn. You have to pursue certification, learn from individuals, know people that are know things that are relevant. I see a lot of people spend so much time on the bad news in Nigeria, kidnappings and killings, that, but you don't spend time in watching business news. You don't spend time in reading books. How do you want to grow? Once you start to feed, whatever you feed your mind with is what you will become in 5 years. So if you feed yourself with positive things, in 5 years, that's who you'll be. If you feed yourself with negative things, everything around you will be negative. So you have to learn to invest in education. Find a mentor. A lot of people don't do this. They're afraid to speak to someone. Start with people who you are comfortable with. Your brothers, your sisters, and brother sister doesn't necessarily mean your biological brothers or sisters. You can meet someone in a place, in a workplace. Just look for someone who you are looking in education, in career, in finances, in business, different areas. I have different mentors and I have mentees in different areas. So you have mentors that would help you. And of course, when you get a mentor and you started growing in your to start giving back to the society. And that's how you have mentees. Now, build a personal brand. And for this, I tell people you don't need to really be all shouty. And when I say people will correct me, but again, that's remember I said this is how I've built myself. You don't need to be out there on social media shouting. There's this saying that the empty barrels make the loudest noise. Start to groom yourself inside the dark places where people don't see you. Groom yourself. Become a brand that once you come out to speak, people say, where has this guy been? We all shout Facebook, Zuckerberg, we shout Google, and all the rest. Go and read about them. When you learn about people, you will become aware that these guys never came out to start broadcasting. They were building things, and when they came out, the whole world took advantage of what they're doing. So personally build your brand. Tell yourself that this is how I want to be. This is whom I want to be. This is whom I want to become. And you would see yourself. I will skip this section because my colleague had done very good job on it. And Joanne, thank you for helping my work. I will also skip this section because she has said diversify. This is all I have been doing. And the last section, because I have less than 3 minutes and I want to maximize my time, so that if you have questions, I could answer the question. It's prioritizing your well-being and productivity. Yes, I know Lagos is very stressful for those of us that are in Lagos. I know outside Nigeria, people think it's also easy. It's not as easy as you think in many countries. People juggle 3, 4 jobs, morning to evening, and they forget one fundamental thing. If you don't prioritize your well-being and productivity on a daily basis, you will see yourself becoming stressed. I will usually joke with if I'm saying this, it's just a joke. People who have gray hair, I say you think a lot. That's why you are having the gray hair. You are worrying too much about life. You should relax. And some people will come back to say, gray hair is a symbol that you are wise and you are making money. Well, it doesn't really show. I've seen some people that without gray hair, they're billionaires already and they're doing well. So it's not a factor. But where I'm going to is first ensure that you invest in your health. Exercise. There are times that you are tired and you can't exercise, particularly in Lagos. But guess what? You don't need to enter that bus that is close to your house. Maybe it's a 20 minutes drive to your house. Stop at the bus stop and walk on a daily basis. Just do it, 15 minutes. You don't need to and do something. Good nutrition, adequate. Please sleep. It's not sleep does not deprive you of wealth. Some people say, no, I can't sleep. Oh, I have to monitor what is happening on my stocks. Monitor, you would give yourself high blood pressure, and another person will enjoy it. So you need to have high energy on a daily basis to ensure that with that high energy, that's how you can increase your income. People who are sick in the hospital cannot today check their account balance. They can't check that statement. So you have to be healthy. You also need to manage your time. A lot of us wake up in the morning, and the first thing we look at is the socials. We look at other people's lifestyle. We look at other people's history, other people's progress in life. And already we've spoiled our money and we say, I'm useless. Some people wake up early morning to start to say negative things. Today is Monday, useless. Lagos traffic. Today is this. Try as much as possible to wake up early in the morning. I try to do it 4 a.m. Wake up. If you are spiritual, do your prayers, read a book, learn something. Avoid your phone for the first 3 hours in the morning. Plan your day. You can even plan your day the night before. Plan your day, how you want your day to be. Plan it in such a way that when you spend that 3 hours developing yourself, remember you are the most valuable asset in this life. You will see that you have eliminated distractions, you've eliminated issues of life, and you start to move. And by the time you move on a daily basis, if you get to the office or you get to a place, things will not distract you. They're talking about Iran war, yeah, this. You see that you're just focused. And lastly, practice self-care. Um, Spend on yourself, oh, please. You will spend on people. There's a research that says that we spend we spend more time, we spend our money more on our family members, friends, than we even spend on ourselves. So in all of this, you're budgeting, spend time with yourself. Take out time to go on vacations. It's not expensive. You don't need to necessarily spend money on high expensive areas. Start with simple places. Within Lagos, if you're in Lagos, go to Badagry, for instance. Go to a place far from the noise of the place. Go to Ibadan, to a town, a village in Ibadan and stay. Go to your hometown if it's possible. Stay there. Relax. Enjoy yourself. Eat fresh food. Relax. Don't think about anything. Just take some days off and relax. Practice self-care, and that will help you. I will stop here because of time, and I want to say thank you, everyone, for this time. And this is what I've done so to answering your questions. And back to you, Jide.
Thank you so much. Please, can we celebrate him? I've given you a heart. I'm clapping. Oh, I see others clapping. Thank you, Lufumi. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Increase. Thank you, Maureen. See, everyone, thank you, Kaudi. Everyone, I beg you to, all the time I always persuade you, beg you. Everyone that has spoken, they are not exaggerating. They are not, and for the member of communities, I'm sure you know me the way. Some people really know the kind of person I am. I won't be forming anything. I'll be cooking up stories for you. I'll be telling you what is not. But not everyone will come out and tell you the secret of their success. People used to hide, and I wonder why are they hiding things? If I share with John share with me. Will that reduce John's money? No, no, no. But all of us will grow and we help others. So thank you again. So if you have questions, remember, note all your questions. You can always show with the raise of hand later. You can also drop them in the chat. But I'll be calling Kayode. So Mr. Kayode, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Jide, and thank you for having me. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's great. It's good to be here to talk about money once again, talk about idea, talk about idea, how to make money and how to make your money work for you. I mean, you can't have it better. That's the practical example of how people actually succeed in life, right? And before I move forward, I want to say something about what Jide said earlier. He said we've known each other for like 25 years. Actually, it's been more than that. We've known each other for like 32 years, actually. And Jide is one of the brave minds we had around when we were growing up then. So thank you very much for this opportunity to talk around this. Okay, so
welcome, my brother.
let me delve into it. Actually, Johan has said a lot around um, money, investing, how to make your money works for you, those ideas, those practical example of what we have in Nigeria and what we see, how it works in money markets, capital markets, and also Evis has done a great job trying to talk around these processes, right? So what I would do is, number one, I'm not doing a presentation. I'm not going to present any slide, but I will talk around my points vis-a-vis the practical experience that I had and some of them which I'm still doing currently. I'm in finance, no doubt, but I try as much as possible to diversify my ideas into investment as well. So when you are investing, it's not only in money market, the capital market. What about the real life um, examples that are right in front of you that you can actually benefit from? And I have done a lot in this area. Please don't think I'm advising you against investing in money markets or doing a practical normal investment. I've done a lot of that. I even have investment in money markets, but I'm talking about those ones that you can actually see and talk around and be able to kind of monitor the development and how it grows, right? So I will talk around in all this area. And I'll also give you examples of those ones that I've done in the past, those ones I'm still currently working on, and those ones that I've seen friends and family like invested in both their time and money, and that's actually yielded a lot of results, right? So many people work to earn money actually, yet very few make their money work for them. So these are two completely different things. So you work to earn money. So when you have that money, it's better when you put that money into use. So let it work for you. I mean, not all of it, right? Making your money work, it's kind of putting it in a place where it grows, generates more income, increase your financial security without requiring much effort from you. I mean, you've already made effort by earning the money, right? So when you now put the money to use, it should require less effort. So instead of relying solely on your salary, you can have something on the side that is actually working. And I mean, at the end of the day, you'll be surprised at how much you must have earned through this idea. So, I mean, in today's economic environment, especially in countries like Nigeria, where inflation and cost of living continue to rise like every day. Recently, because of the issue in Iran, we know the price of petrol now. So you can't actually predict what will happen tomorrow. So learning how to make your money work is essential for your financial stability and long-term wealth creation, actually, because that's the ultimate reason why people try as much as possible to do investments. So like I said, I'm going to talk around. So any area that Joan and Evis has talked around, I won't really spend more time on it. I'll just mention them and move on. Then other areas I will spend more time so that people can have an idea and learn. So making your money work, I mean, like is like I said earlier, it's not something that you require your efforts. So we have various means of investments. I mean, John talks a lot around them. Normal investment in money markets or interest any savings, businesses or assets that will appreciate in value. So you don't have to do investment based on interest alone because there are different kind of investments, especially in money markets. Either you invest in order to earn dividends or you invest in order for your investment to appreciate in value. Imagine you buy a share today at maybe 8 naira, and in the next 3 or 4 years, the value of that share is now 100 naira per one. Imagine when you multiply by the number of units you must have purchased. So is it that you are looking forward to earn interest, to earn dividend, or you are looking for capital appreciation? And both can happen actually, depending on the market or the stock that you are putting your money in. Then I want to talk around why it is important actually to make your money work for you. We are talking about making your money work for you, but why is it you are working? You are probably doing 9 to 5, or you have your business, you're earning money. So what's the essence of having your money work for you again? I mean, the number one thing to think about is financial independence. There's nothing so important than you being able to do anything you want to do when you have money. So God forbid, or you have any emergency to spend money on, and you still have to be calling friends and family to raise you money. I mean, I don't think that's viable. People, the first impression that will come to their mind is, I mean, this guy is working. Why is he reaching out to us? So when your money generates income, you become less dependent on maybe salary alone or family to take care of you. So you can have something set aside that will take care of whatever needs you have in the future. And another reason why it is important is protection against inflation. Joan talks around a continual rise in prices and you having purchasing power to buy goods that maybe was 100 naira yesterday and today it's now 500 naira. So when you have money set aside, you have your money working for you, it guides you, it protects you against inflation because actually inflation will reduce the purchasing power of money over time. So investing help your money to grow faster than inflation if the interest rate is right. And also another reason why it is important is it helps in creating wealth. So when you are able to put money aside and that money is working for you, it doesn't require your effort. In fact, sometimes it's not like you forget when we say forget, but sometimes you put that money aside and you forget about it. Like you're not thinking about it every day, you're not going there to check it, and it's just kind of multiplying. The multiplying effect you will see in the future. Even you yourself will be surprised that okay, so this is something I put aside 5, 6 years ago, and it has become this, and you'll be proud of yourself. And I've again, like we said, emergency. There will be any reason can come up why you need money. So you'll be able to at least go that route, get your money, be able to do whatever you want to do, and that will help you. So I will talk about the principle actually, the principle of making your money work for you. So I want to talk about three, right? So I won't dwell much on the first one, budgeting and financial discipline. Joan did a lot of work there, talking about 50, 30, 20 rules. Even though sometimes I don't 100% believe in this principle because sometimes it varies. And I remember John also mentioned that. So when you say 50% for need, 30% for want, and 20% for saving and investment. So sometimes my need might not be as much as yours. So maybe my need 40% will be okay for me. My want 20% will be okay. Why not put the rest 40% in saving or investment? So it depends on how you want to see this. Another thing is, I mean, saving. I won't dwell much on that. Avoiding unnecessary debt. This is so much important. This is, in fact, is as important as you being able to save or put your money to work. Avoid one of the major problems we're having in this country today, be it as government, be it as individual, is that we venture into debt a lot. I mean, I sometimes I understand maybe when you have a situation where you really need money to solve problem, sickness and whatnot. But other than those ones that you can avoid, why do people venture into debt a lot to the extent that the debt they have to settle is like times four of their expected income? And it's even with Nigerian government, it's like that. You know, high interest debt such as credit card loan, you know, have all these quick money, I mean, a high interest loan that people go into. So it will actually prevent you from growing. But if you're able to reduce your debt or avoid them entirely, I mean, some people might not be able to avoid debt, but at least reduce it to the barest minimum so that it can allow your investment to grow. So this is an area that we actually need to work on. I mean, investing is good, being able to put your money to use is good. But if you are, even if at all you are not saving, you are not investing, if you are able to avoid debt, you've already like done 30% of the work. If you're able to avoid debt. So ways to make your money work for you. I've talked about investing, I mean saving. John also mentioned it, mutual funds, real estate. So I want to talk a lot more around real estate and maybe putting your money to use in another business. I've had a practical example of what we did like 4 or 5 years ago with some of my friends, and I'll mention it here because it can actually help us. So what there's a practical way of people saving money, investing, which is the like I mentioned, money market, the normal investment. So what about those ones that are actually in front of you that you can actually maximize their use? So what we did, we were like 10 of my friends that we know that okay, we are earning things, we have businesses, we have salaries. So what if we are able to put our resources together? We know the number of people in Nigeria who are struggling with housing, be it in Lagos, be it in Abuja, be it in Port Harcourt, even in a town as close to Lagos as like Ibadan. We have people struggling for houses. And we know how much they give out houses now in Lagos, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. Why don't we put our resources together, right? Engage someone like a consultant who can manage this and build properties. So when you build those properties, then you sell them. Sometimes with 30 million, 35 million naira, 40 million naira, you can build properties. Depends on what kind of property you are looking into. Maybe store, warehouses, housing for people. So when you build it, then after that you sell it. The multiply effect you will get on such investment. For example, now if you contribute maybe like 30 million and you guys are like 10, that's 100 million naira, right? When you build property, you can sell that property for as much as 180 million naira. And you can build it in the space of 3 or 4 months. Imagine you are able to sell it in the fifth month. In the space of 5 months, you will use 100 million naira to make 80 million naira that all of you will share. And that will not actually require your effort because you have to engage someone that will do it. So investment in real estate, if you are not even going that route, we have realtor everywhere in Lagos that you can talk to, you invest in their business. You don't have to practically engage them in terms of you doing this in real estate yourself. But you can engage in professionals that already they've had experiences doing this over the years. All you need to do is to have an agreement with them, sit down with them, and say, okay, this is what I have. and this is what I'm expecting to get back. If it's okay with them, I mean, you guys will come with an agreement and be able to sort out things. So investment in real estate, in fact, is one of the fastest growing investment method that people are actually engaging in now. And if you are fit, you are good, you can do it on your own. You don't have to maybe come together with friends. Only you can do it. All well and good. Just look for a location that you think business will thrive, where people are looking for accommodation and whatnot, get a piece of land and being able to, you know, engage someone that will manage it. And when it's done, you can sell it off. Another practical one that I have done very well is some of our investment in agriculture. Like we were talking about how to make your money work for you. You don't have to put in your effort. So I will talk around this. I have a guy who rear calf. I mean baby cow, right? So this guy, so he has this business model where you can so you buy each calf like 300 or 400,000 naira, right? So you buy three for this guy, right? So the feeding, the nurturing, the injection that you will give them is all on him. Then he will nurture them for 7 or 8 months. Then after the 8th month, so if you buy three, so it's always three units that you buy. So if you buy three, all you need to do is to provide the funds. So imagine you are buying each at 400,000. So when you buy three, you buy like 1.2 million naira. You give it to this guy, right? He will be the one to go and even get it, right? So he will nurture them in, injection, feeding, and whatnot. So at the end of the 7 months, they will have become a full-grown cow. So two are yours and one is his. So at the end of the day, when you buy them like for 400,000, we know how much they are selling cows now. A full-grown one is like between 800 to 1.2 million naira for each. So when you buy three at 1.2, and at the end of the day, two is yours. So you'll be able to sell it for like, let's even assume 1 million naira for each. That's 2 million naira in 7 months. This is something I have done. I've been doing it for like 2 to 3 years. I mean, the guy is not a 9 to 5. He's just someone that I know. So this kind of investment, it doesn't require any of my effort other than my funds. You provide it at month one, at month seven, you are reaping your rewards. You don't have to be saying, okay, I'm looking for money to feed the cow, I'm looking for injection, I want to buy medicine. No, it doesn't concern me. All I do is buy three. At the end of 7 months, I take two. And then you won't be the one to look for buyer. I don't have to go through stress. All I will get is my money, my return back in my bank account. So these are not unconventional, I will put it, way of investing and making your money work for you, other than what we've known in terms of the normal way of investing that everybody knows. So there are some other ideas in terms of real estate, being able to invest in agriculture, being able to invest in retail business. You have someone who is very good at his job, but is lacking funds in order for the business to develop or to grow. Why don't you provide some sort of funding for such businesses? All you need to do is to have an agreement, sit down with the person, draft out an agreement, let your lawyer friends review it. And if it is good, you provide the funding. Let the guy be doing the business, right? All you need to do is you have an agreement with him as to when you'll be getting something back at the end of the day, and you'll be able to. So all these things does not actually require you being able to put in your effort on a daily basis. It's just a one-off thing for you, and you wait till the end of the period for you to get your return back. So I mean, these are ways that I think we can people can earn money or make their money work for them, and everything will be good. And as much as we talked around how to make money, there are some mistakes that people need to avoid when they are trying to build wealth or making their money work for them, right? So, and number one is a lot of people in Nigeria today spend more than they earn. Imagine your salary is 2 or 300,000 naira, and before month ends, you're already promising someone to do this, you will do that. At the end of the day, the promises you made before month end is like 500 to 600K, and your salary you are expecting at the end of the month is just 300,000 naira. So when you do this, you end up buying things you don't need. And at the end of the day, when you buy things, this will go a long way in helping people to grow, right? And like I said, Joan also mentioned this, and Elvis mentioned it, I think, in his second slide when he was doing presentation. Investing without proper knowledge is a waste of time. You really need to learn. You really need to know what you are putting your money into, how to do it. Joan, I remember talked around you being able to do a research on on the stock that you want to put your money into. Check the financials of those companies. Their last 5 years financials, how have they been very faring? Were they making profits? Or is it that they made loss in year one, year two, and year three? You started seeing things improving. So you need knowledge. If you don't try to do research, you will not know about these things, and that will not guide you in terms of you being able to know which stock or shares you want to put your money in. Then another one is, I mean, all these get rich quick scheme. People should try as much as possible to avoid them. They are always tempting when they present them to you. Trust me, I've had someone presented them to me, presented one of it to me before, and it was so sweet. The they will look good, and you think they will look good, and you think, this is an investment area that I can actually put my money in. And at the end of the day, when you put your money into it and you discover that it's something you can even get half of your money back. So people should also try to learn how to diversify their investments. I was talking about how people venture into money markets, do investment, and also talking about like what I know in terms of being able to do real estate, investment in cows or other animals that you think will benefit you. So the reason why people diversify investment is actually to be able to manage your portfolios. So if you put all your money in money market, imagine the market collapse and everything goes down. What will happen to all your investment? Everything gone. Or if you do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, if one goes down, what? So it's always inverse relationship. So if one goes down, one should be rising. So you don't put all your egg in one basket. Diversify your investments so that this will help you in the long run. Also, one of the mistakes people make is ignoring planning. I remember John mentioned budgeting and whatnot. So before you even delve into any investments or any form of savings, plan. What are your expectations? What are you trying to, what are you expecting at the end of the month in terms of your businesses or your salary? That will guide you. Okay, can I put so percentage into use? Can I put this into my needs, savings, investments? In the long run, you have like immediate plan, you have like a medium term plan, and you have a long term plan that will guide you. So okay, my business, my idea or my dreams in life is to become a real estate business mogul. So do real estate is not something that you can wake up and just venture into today. You have to kind of, it's capital intensive, if I can put it that way. So you can do some small businesses that will fetch you money before you now catapult yourself into that level of being able to do real estate. Hello, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, thank you so much. I didn't want to cut in because you spent like more minutes, but because it's a platform for learning and
Okay.
sincerely, you can use like 1 more minute, please. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, no problem. Thank you very much. So I will just talk around the practical steps for you to start today. Like I said, uh, a lot of investment idea, money market and whatnot. But the most important thing is you individually. Like, what are your intentions? What do you want to achieve? How do you want to go about it? You need to track your income and expenses. You need to create budgets, like I mentioned earlier. Build emergency fund, start saving, start investing. All these things will help, right? And in conclusion, making your money work is one of the most important financial skills individual can actually develop because you won't always have this energy that you're using to work to. At some point in your life, there won't be energy for you to do your business or do your 9 to 5, which is why there is a retirement age in Nigeria. But when you have the sum of investment aside where your money is working for you, that will require no effort from you or energy. You will still grow old and still be making money in the future, and you'll be able to take care of your immediate needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. Please, can we appreciate and celebrate him? So while I'm waiting for your questions, right? So raise your hand if you have. I will just chip in some things. And before I even say that, I really, really appreciate these people. I really, really appreciate them. So I would say this, right? I know someone that is close to me, or yeah, close to the family in a way. Just imagine that this person retired some 30 years ago. And this person does not have anything that he's doing now. But the money that this person makes every month is more than my salary. I'm just trying to tell you something. So I'll say that again. This person has retired about 30 years ago. And what he gets on monthly basis right now is more than my salary. When I say salary, maybe one of the companies that I work for. So of course that is the salary. So this person, after 30 years that he has retired, what did he do? How come he's able to have something like that? And this is someone that still acquired one properties about 2 years ago, somewhere on the island in Lagos. And he has retired. If you do not start by dropping little today, what will you then get when you get older, or when that time comes that you are not able to use your energy to do some things? I'll also add this. Kayode mentioned something about the person that is rearing cow. So I will say this to you. I have been doing something for the past 4 years. One of the things I've been doing right for the past 4 years or 5. So there is this guy. Okay, so someone asked me in the office that, okay, there is someone that has this idea, but it doesn't have money. That can we put money together and help him? So he told him to come up with his plan. We, of course, it was legal. We saw it, okay, sign against this. And this is what you'll be doing. So let me explain what I'm trying to say. So this guy is into something related to farming, right? So fish or fishery, fish pond, but he does not have money. Right. When he reached out to us, we agreed that he's going to do that for 7 months. It was the one we asked him to go and bring his plan and all of that. So he would rear the fishes, right, for 7 months and begin to sell after, I think the 8th month or the 7th month, something like that. So we'll give him 700,000 naira. We don't give him once. He said we should be giving him 100,000 every month. So on the 8th month, he will collect 50,000. That is 750 altogether, yes. And he will return back to us 1 million naira. In case he didn't get it. First month, 100, second month, 100, like that. 6th month, 7th month, 100, then the 8th month, 50. That's 750. So, but in the 8th month, he's already selling the fishes and he will return 1 million. That means that you invested 750,000 naira and you are getting 250 as profit. Just imagine, I've consistently done that for the past 4 years. So meaning that there is no bank in Nigeria, even no money market, that you put 750,000 and in the 8th month you get 250,000 naira. And maybe sometimes some of my colleagues will do 2 batches. That means you give in 1.5 million, you get 2 million. So that's the idea. So of course, when you talk about, they mentioned about diversification. So that means that don't put all your eggs in one basket. So in case you do not understand, these things is working. And if you say, oh, you don't have money yet, there are people, I know, I only mention one thing, right? I know some people that reach out. I know one person that reached out maybe 7 years ago that, okay, there is this farm in Benin. They requested this amount of money and this is the return. Every opportunity that we can make legitimate money and legally backed money, right? I mean, you get the point. You want to ensure you put your fund, you take advantage of that. And because when you see some people shining or something, you feel that are they doing Yahoo? Are they doing no? It's because they have information and they're able to take those risks and put in their money. So I just really want to persuade us that we should take advantage of some of these things. And in case you're like, okay, how will I start? June already broken it down, even with 1,000, even with 5,000 in money market. Me that I'm talking to you, I'm not hiding anything. I have shares in companies. I know one share that I bought 10 years ago, and I know how much it is now. I have money in money market. Instead of putting my money in savings, I saw that my money in the savings, normal savings account, if you withdraw 4 times in Nigeria, you know they will not give interest. I'm just being practical. So let's say I have 4 accounts. I'm just saying it. Let's say I have 4 accounts. So I have one account that I don't touch at all. So when they pay me salaries, let's imagine when they pay me salary, I will now move my salary to that account. And I will now say, okay, maybe it's 50,000. I'm just creating context now. Maybe it's 50,000 I know that I need for the family. I will now put, let's say, like 70,000 in my account that I can spend from, which I call expense account. I will then move the remaining money. I'm just creating context. So into that one, so that the interest, I will not touch it. At least if it is 5,000 they are putting on top every month, don't mind my laughing, or 7,000 is something. Now, and I realize that, you know what, these people say, they are using my money to be doing business and they are making more. Why am I putting all my money in a normal savings account? Why can't I move that money to money market? Money market will give me about 19, sometimes 17, but it depends. I have like more than one money market. It's just, this is exposing everything to you. Now, and don't think when they talk about money is millions. No, you can even put 50,000, you can put 20,000, and you can be consistent. That's what they have broken down to us. Maybe when my salary comes, every month I'll be putting 10,000. Or every month I'll be putting 20,000. Or if I do another business that bring in money, instead of me to go and swallow or blast this money, can I put it there? That is how this thing will compound. And okay, just to also share. The other time that they release MTN, that they say everybody can buy MTN. I bought MTN. I used like 150,000 to buy MTN, I mean, number of units. And as of today, do you know the worth of that? Okay, so I used 150, then I think it bought in 945 units. Now, when I was checking this year, I saw that into the maybe 800 and something thousand naira, and I used 150,000 naira. I'm just saying, don't think that's the only one. I'm just trying to say this. Because why we've been talking about training ourselves, empowering ourselves to get this. You also need to say, okay, when these small monies are coming in, can I put it somewhere? So that is, don't worry, there are a lot of things we can share, but I'll just limit it to that. So thank you, everyone. If you have questions, you can show with the raise of hand. Our experts, our speakers are still here to answer us. And if you do not want to raise your hand, you can drop it in the chat. Let's confirm we can hear me first. So I see a question, but let's confirm we can hear me just to be sure my internet is fine. Good. So I see a question. John spoke about mutual fund giving 20% monthly. Which one? Okay, I also know a mutual fund that is giving more than 20%. It's just that it fluctuates now. So market determines. So sometimes it can even drop to 19, like on daily basis. So, but John, this is addressed to you. So I will not be able to answer this. Any of the speakers can also answer if they know. So John, please, that's the question addressed to you.
Okay. All right. Hi, Joseph. So you said John spoke about the mutual fund giving 20% a month. Note, the payment is per annum, it's not per month. It is per annum. All right. They don't give per month. Anyone that's giving you per month is MMM. All right. It is per annum. Okay. So you said which one is that? Oh, there are a lot of them. Okay, what we will do? Sajide, this is our close community, Abby. I'll drop it. I'll drop it. I'll drop a
Yes.
list of them, of some that we can invest in the community
The
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp group.
All right.
Yeah.
So that would guide you. And also general question to all the okay, if you want to invest in stock, what are the recommended top 5? Okay, so up the top of my head, let me advise you. One major industry that you can always invest stock in is in the bank, right? Even though the growth margin is usually being controlled by the banking industry themselves, right? Because for every high value it goes to, you have to pay you dividend, and dividend is based on what you invested. All right. But banking industry will always rise. Why? Nobody wants to lose their license. All right. And CBN is so hell-bent on them ensuring that customers' funds are secured. The banks want to make profit at the end of every month, like at the end of every financial year, so that they stay in business. So let me just give a list of some of them that I have. So we can invest in Access, we can invest in FCMB, you can invest in Fidelity, you can invest in Stanbic, Sterling, Zenith, and then also, Mr. Jide, thank you for pointing MTN out. So MTN is also a very good share that you can invest in. I know as at last year, no, was it last year or 2 years ago, MTN made a loss, like a huge loss. They couldn't pay dividend at all. So if you were somebody that was looking at your shares and saying, okay, the reason why I'm investing is because I want to be making profits quick, and I look at it, MTN was doing very well. They were on a 21, I think it was a 21 naira per unit, and then he dropped, and then he went up again, and now I think it's around 500 right now. So if you had bought shares from MTN in like maybe 4 years ago, and you are saying because they did not pay me dividend 2 years ago, I want to sell off, you would have lost. You would have made a wrong financial decision, and you would not be benefiting from people that are sitting and saying MTN shares is now over 500. All right. So these are some of the things that we have to also take into consideration. Look at their trend. Look at how they are
Apologies.
evolving.
MTN is 700 and something as at yesterday.
Thank you very
It
much.
was
So you
even
can see
790 as at 3-day or last week. Just so you know.
you see, thank you so much, Mr. Jide, for that update. So you see, you can still key in because MTN will always grow. The reason why, let me just give you a small hint on why MTN will always grow. You see, these are 5G fiber that they're selling right now. MTN's network is like they are competing at a maximum rate. And you know, a lot of people are working using the internet. Do you understand? Even though Airtel is kind of coming up, right? But I cannot give you really advice on that because it's still based on location. But you see, MTN, they have like a massive coverage, and they are working seriously on their fiber coverage and their network. So you see, MTN will always grow. Like from now till maybe they take another decision again on why they have to invest. So because of that, MTN will always do well. And then Sterling's rate is still kind of low now. Sterling and FCMB, they are low now, so you can key in now, but they will always grow. All right. So if you look at some of the banking shares, look at the banks that have global license, right? Not just some banks are like not, should I say local or like national or regional, sort of. But look at the ones that have global license. They will always grow because they want to compete globally. You see the likes of Access Bank. They will always want to compete. Do you understand? And also you have to look at the timing of their if you decide not to invest at the beginning of the year and probably you're looking at the rate that okay, the market is going up and going down, it's not stable. I promise you, leave that shares, don't sell it. In the banking sector, do not sell. Do you know why? At the end of the year, every bank wants to close well and pay shareholders because everybody's looking at them, right? Every bank wants to grow year on year. Even if they don't grow, they will debit you. You must pay something and they will make money. Do you understand? Rather than being on the part of you are crying that they're always debiting you, please join the people that will always smile when they pay dividend. All right. And then Aradel, you can buy some shares in Aradel. Yeah, so that will also help you. And you can also buy in Geregu. Okay, you can buy it from Geregu too. Right now, Dangote is about to sell, or if they've started selling, I'm not even certain. I've not updated myself as of yesterday. So
they've not started.
they've not started. Okay.
So it should be June or July.
Okay, thank you. So before they start, right, you have to create before you can even access the market, for those of us that have not even started investing in shares, we have to download an application. Like I said, you as an individual, you cannot go to the stock exchange market to go and buy shares because how much is your money? Stock exchange is the primary market. All right. But the what's it called? The the investment companies like the likes of Afri Invest, what's the other one? Coronation. There are a lot of them, right? For me, I use Afri Invest, all right, because it is. I feel like it's seamless. That's for me. That's my opinion, anyways. So, but there are a lot of other ones that you can use, okay? And as you're signing up, you are opening a CSCS account and a CHN account. So those two accounts are what you use to trade your shares. Okay. So if you have not, you're saying you're waiting for when they will now start, please sign up now, create your CSCS and CHN account numbers so that when they start selling, you'll be able to be among the first set that could key in. When Fidelity Bank sold shares, when they did their what was that thing? Offer, trying to raise their capital. The shares sold at 9.75 because as at then I was working in Fidelity Bank. It sold at 9.75. As at today, go and check. I don't need to tell you. Go and check. Just use a browser and check what's the value of the current MTM Fidelity Bank shares. In order to give context to the MTN, go and check what their share price was as at 5 years ago and what their share price is today. So all of these things are some of the information that would help to guide you. And then then CWG. CWG is I think is a company into, I can't remember what they're into anymore. Anyway, but you can also buy their shares. Look at their trends, right? Look at the trend and the applications I use for this sales serve, especially for Afri Invest, because that's the one I've seen. It even helps to show you their trend on a year-on-year, right? So you see the chart how they've been moving. So that will help you also decide on which one you want to buy and which one you should go for. I hope I've been able to answer your questions.
Thank you so much for that.
right.
So Elvin or Carol, please, there is, or any of you, please, or both of you. Esther said, please, can we have a reliable list of any real estate investment platform so that we can look at it, and also other platform, please.
Okay, thank you, Jide. I always try as much as possible to avoid advising people on investment platform or anyone, and it's not because of anything. It's because of what if the other person goes into that market at the time that the trend is going downward, and the person is losing money, and the person might be thinking, okay, you advise me to go into this market. But be that as it may, I will have a couple of real estate investment companies in Nigeria that are actually thriving. So they are in different forms, actually. There are some that are doing crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is when, real estate, like I said, is capital intensive, right? So we have all these crowdfunding investment platform where small money can be put together and it will turn out to become something huge and massive where they can now help you to do investment. One of them is FragFest. If you try and go online and read about FragFest, FragFest help people by putting this money, small money, 20,000, 10,000, 20, 50,000 naira, put them together and turn them into a massive investment to build property for people to rather buy or rent, and you will get something at the end of the end of maybe every month or yearly, depending on the agreement you had with them. There is also Jamai. I can't remember their name very well. I think it's Jamai or something. So you can try them as well. And there are, a lot of other one. I can't remember their name on top of my head, but there's Landway. Yes, Landway. Landway too. They actually venture in more of residential property. So they don't really do other form of property, but they do only residential. So where, like I said, they help you get land in areas where they know that you like develop into something massive in the future, and they advise you on what you can do, the kind of properties you can put in those areas, and the return that is most likely to come out of that investment. So that's Landway does that, and there is Holford Homes. Yeah, Holford Homes. Yeah. Those are the four I can remember on top of my head now. But you can go online and check for all these top investment. I have someone who has invested in the FragFest. I'm sure about their own. The Jamai too. I'm sure about their own. Others have not done it, but I know they are top real estate investment companies in Nigeria. But FragFest, I have experience with FragFest. So you can try them. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Oh, Vince, please, do you have anything to help
Okay,
us with?
I think Kaude and Joanna said a lot. I'm not an expert when it comes to real estate investments. I'm just the
Okay.
one property guy. So let me let it be at that. Thanks. Again, I'm also
Thank you
learning
so much.
from them.
Thank you so much. Any other question? Joseph, you wanted to say something, right? Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. GD.
Oh,
And
is
thank you.
Joseph? Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. And thank you, Mr. GD. Thank you to our panelists. I've learned a few things myself, whilst joining this meeting. So thank you very much for taking your time to educate us. Because I actually delve into the stock market this year, thanks to Mr. GD, because we spoke earlier this year and he spoke to me about it, which I feel like one thing is if you're not in at the table where they are making this decision and where the food is coming in, if you're not seated at the table, then you're definitely on the menu. So I decided to say, okay, well, let me take my seat on the table so that I will not be on the menu. And for my little experience, because I feel like before you start just spreading your money around, you need to get a little bit of education because you need to know what you're doing, at least just get a little bit. So I made a lot of inquiries, and of course I paid my novice dues because you're bent to make one or two mistakes. But I think getting my foot in the water, I learned a few things. I knew the blue chip, where you're supposed to look for your capital gains, where you're supposed to put your dividends, and stuff like that. And so I personally just asked for the 5 to 10 stocks that that will be recommended, so that I'll just know, weigh it again and double check if I'm on the right track. Right. So personally, I just want to add just a very little thing, like try to make your portfolio, anybody that wants to go into the stock, as concise as possible, not just follow everything because it is trending at that moment. Personally, I looked into stocks like Okomo Oil, Presco, MTN, Aradel, like one I think is the best performing stock right now. GT Bank, and the two banks that I decided to go with, GT Bank and Zenith, and Boa Food too. So, do well to do your due diligence before, spreading the money everywhere. So thank you very much again for this session. It was really insightful. Thank you, Mr. Jide.
Thank you so very much. And thank you to our speakers. Please, let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them. Elvis, thank you so much. Kayode, thank you so much. June, thank you so much. So we end this session here. Thank you again, and bye for now.
Hi guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye. Because we spent a lot of time. So thank you and bye.